Hostro World, we're back again. Another week, another mix of emotions week. Talk about basketball. I don't even know where to start, but as always, I gotta check in my bros because this definitely not going the way I thought it would have. Hakim, what are you doing, my
Actually,
brother?
actually,
No,
actually, going anyway, you predicted it. I feel it. I
No,
feel
that is very true. Yes, it
it.
did.
Going
No,
anyway, you
it was
predicted it.
no, no.
no,
He had
no.
it
I
flip.
had the
He had it
opposite. I
flip.
had it
You had the
flip
you had the
because
Mavs first to wins.
my prediction turned
Yeah.
upside down,
Oh, I thought you had the
full
Celtics.
180.
That's funny. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a lovely week. The NBA has not failed to disappoint. My team didn't get the win, or I should say, my horse didn't get the win I was expecting in
I
game
just can't
two.
say you team.
Yeah,
I just can't say you get rid of the purple and gold.
I got to say
You
my
just
horse.
want LeBron.
I got to say my horse. The horse furious. They didn't get the win, but we'll see. Don't worry, don't worry. They won't be the first team to go down 2-love away from home. They won't be the last
He's a
team
must.
to even at the series. So it's okay. We keep it moving. How about
How's
you, Ray?
life,
How you doing?
everyone?
Yeah, going pretty good. I enjoy the basketball so far. The Celtics really kind of playing on the show. I would like to see a little bit more competition. The games have been so in terms of closeness. Um, but I think the way it's going, it could prove like it's still up in the air right now where this NBA finals could go, even though the Celtics up 2-0. You know the series don't start until the home team loses, so the series didn't really start yet. So we can
The
see what
series gonna
happened.
start soon though.
It better. It better.
We can see what
Because if
happened come Wednesday night.
don't ever start, yeah. Oh boy, we shall see for sure. Before we get all the way into the topics though, I just want to welcome the Hostro family to the stream. Thanks for joining us. This one is going to be a nice conversation, just basically talking about the first two games so far for the NBA Finals. Like Rayvon said, it hasn't started until the home team lose. So we're waiting for the commencement of this NBA Finals for 2024. But if you're in the stream, hit that like button for me, please. Appreciate it. Please and thank you very much. Let me dive into this here, Rayvon.
Okay.
First game, a shocker. Um, Mavs didn't look like Mavs. Mavs' identity was nowhere to be found. Seems like Lob City had a blackout, couldn't get
Oh man.
power, still ain't got power in that city. So, talk to me about, I guess, what caused that and kind of how Mavs may have to adjust to losing that part of their identity so far, especially in game one.
Well, the for the first game, I think the first game was the Kristaps Porzingis game. Really and truly, I know
For
he
sure.
didn't had at the end of the game he didn't have a popping stats or anything like that. He just had 20, just a little bit above 20 points. But he really came out in that first quarter and put on a show. He was literally everywhere. On defense,
Yeah.
he was blocking almost it felt like every drive at the rim, he was just there, just deterring everything. And he was hitting some trees from about 30 feet, and the crowd was going crazy. And it just felt like the Mavs could not overcome that first quarter. They did beat the Celtics over the second half of the game. And you look at the quarter scores, but that they were down 17 at the end of the first game. So that's a
Yeah.
big hill to overcome. And the Celtics went up 20 something in that game. So
Yeah,
they
almost
did
30
cut it
points.
down to eight. Yeah, they did cut it down to eight. And I was like, oh boy, here we go now. The Celtics losing that 3-point shooting. So it's downhill. And then
Yeah.
Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum just came out and was just going to the basket at will, getting to the basket at will, and they just pretty much took it home for the guys from there. Um, so story of the game one is Kristaps Porzingis. It was glad to see him come out after not playing from pretty much the most of the postseason, I come out and give that energy that the Celtics really needed, to get them out ahead, and it really paid dividends.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Like, I remember before game one, the biggest question that I had in the stream was, should the Celtics play Al Horford at the center, or as Kristaps returning for game one, rot- rotate him back into the squad? And I was like, I will keep with Al Horford because you don't want to, Kristaps he's been out for almost the entire playoff series, playoff run. Just ease him back into it. But no, this started with Kristaps, and he went off. He was, as Raven was saying, he was doing everything, hitting threes, blocks, layups, dunks. He was all over the court. He was, especially that first quarter, he was just as impactful as you can get. I don't think anyone expected him to be that good. Most people didn't even expect him to be
Oh
playing
yeah,
in the first game. I heard the
exactly.
report. I saw reports saying he was coming back. So I was like, okay, he will be coming back. But I feel like the Mavs didn't expect them prepare for him in the game plan because they they were totally blindsided by how he played. And then Brown was doing his thing, Tatum was doing his thing. Although I would say Tatum was a bit passive. Actually, Tatum was
Yeah,
almost absent in that game. He was just
a bit.
rebound.
No, not a bit.
He almost looked like a role player, just getting rebounds,
He was.
getting rebounds and passing off the three, passing off of the left. Like he was almost ineffective, but he did it. He had a solid game at the end of the day when you look at the stats. But Jalen Brown turned up. He brought the intensity. He brought the intensity that Kyrie was talking about against the Clippers in the second round. Jalen Brown came out with a mission, a man on a mission. He said, "No, we're going to put our head down. We're going to drift the basket. We're going to win. We're going to do everything." And he played for me that showed that Brown was coming to play. He got the ball thing in transition from the halfway line, and he legit dribbled between three players and then dunked it. I don't know if you remember that play,
Dunk on
Rayvon.
all,
He,
He had a few
well,
dunks in that game that was crazy, to be
but
honest.
Mama,
when I saw, it, I was like, "Yo, my man was
the
something
man
to hear."
got
Like,
tree.
Mhm.
and woke up all three players from the Mavs were trying to block the shot, block the dunk, but it just I,
Too much
his
force.
hand his handles looked improved. I will say that. I'm not seeing a lot of the left hand per se. I'm seeing like a rotation with the right hand, but the handles look sharper nonetheless, right? And
Yeah.
he's not coming to play. So game one,
Mhm.
they set the tone as what I would have predicted. I did expect Celtics to win game one. They did so by a wide margin. It looked like a blowout. I think by the second half, I was like, "Yo, this game might be done." You can't count out the Mavs, and rightfully so, they did get back the game within 8. But that timeout that Celtics took, that the power of a timeout always amazes me. It never ceases to amaze me in the NBA. Our team have the rhythm, going to 8-0 run, a 10-0 run, one timeout, and then all of a sudden the other team comes back and get a 5-0 run, 6-0 run, and it's like the lead was never there. I I, I,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it. So the Celtics capitalized on it, good coaching, and
Yeah.
they won game one pretty comfortable. So that was what I expected. Game two, game two was different. I felt like, for me, the game didn't look close at the end of it, but I think it came down to a play, in my opinion, where Luca got the ball. I think someone got rebound, passed the ball to Luca. This is in the fourth quarter. The score, I think, is I want to say Celtics are up by 5 now, 5 or 7, and Luca got the
98
ball,
103, something like
and it
that.
was like, I think it was a 3-on-2 fast break or 2-on-2, and he decided to pass the ball off. I think it was Luca. They said to pass the ball to, I'm not sure who the player was. If it was to the left, and the guy went up for a layup or a dunk, and Derek White blocked him, and that was the defining play because that
Slapped
would have
him.
got the lead.
Yeah, that was a foul, man. That was a foul. I ain't gonna lie
That
about
way
it.
slapped
That was a
him.
foul.
It may not
Man
was a
looked
block. It
In
may
good.
not was
real
a block.
time, though. Yeah, in real
Yeah,
time, it looked like crazy.
yeah,
And
it
you
was
know what
pretty
we were
fast. It was
saying?
pretty fast. Yeah.
You know what we were saying that whole time? Look at the superhero for the Celtics yet again. Always there to
There, wait,
save the
there.
day. When you need him most, he is there, boy. He's the
Yeah.
Batman for that
He
team.
came up. He came up big in those two games. But that block there, To me, that was the defining block because right now the Celtics that would have gotten their got on a deficit down to about I think 2 or 3, basically with a striking range. But late in the fourth quarter, that was the momentum was shifting all the way to Dallas. But then that block play turned into a 2 point play for Celtics, and then got the lead back up 7 or 6 it was, and that was the defending play. After that, the momentum was dead for Dallas, and that was game two right there. Then and there. But that's just my early take on the game on the first 2 games.
Yeah. Let me put a little comment on game two though. I know you're saying that the game appeared close, but generally watching that whole game, I was like, "Oh, is this game still this close?" Because all the momentum just was in the Celtics' favor. Like there was
Mhm.
a beat of three from Peyton Pritchard heading into the fourth quarter. Like
Yeah,
That
seriously,
was
everything
such
was
a
going the
fluke.
Celtics' way.
That
that
was
yeah,
the biggest fluke. God,
But the fluke is
that
come at a
hurt
point
me.
still. So
I know, but that hurt me, Dread. I saw it and I was like, oh my. And you see how hype he was afterwards.
yeah,
couldn't
Rightfully
believe it.
so,
it
but
was like
I
too. I
like
was like,
what
what?
Yeah,
he's on, bro. God,
I was like,
I feel
damn. I
like
was like, damn.
that put a
Dallas
little
can't catch a
sport
break.
in Mavs wheel. Yeah, that put a big
That's the
sport
worst
in
Yeah,
bit
it
of any
did. It
in
did.
quarter.
that game for sure.
But you know, the same
Yeah,
way you talk
because
about
they
the
didn't have a
impact
chance.
of
I think
timeouts.
they got.
Hmm.
I think you're a little bit behind Hacking, but or it might be me. But the impact of timeouts, the impact of closing quarters, like that momentum just carried into the fourth quarter from that buzzer beater tree, and just you know
Yeah,
put the Celtics on the right path. I know the game got close, but to me, I never felt like the Mavs were really threatening to take the lead away from the Celtics, even no matter how close it got. It
because they
just
were never in
was comfortable.
control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were never in control throughout the game. So
never looked
game two
dominant
was
is true. They got closer, which I
yeah.
think is important. And like I start off by saying their identity has carried them so far, well, this far actually, has been their long passes. Seems like Celtics just like snatched that away from them, like taking candy from a kid. I know they need to find something to help them out. Luca got to pull up some tough jumpers. I was actually impressed by how he played, how he started out in that second game. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it was kind of like
he
game five
came out
against the
and
Wolves. Yeah,
correct. And I was like, I see. He's setting the tone. You're trying to set the tone again, but that ain't working with the Celtics. Unfortunately,
Well,
Kyrie has been in a slump a little bit. Like he's not the same Kyrie that we've seen for the entire playoff run so far. But I think he will come into his own. I think he's figuring out some stuff. Hopefully, we'll get a better game on Wednesday. But I
yeah.
think that has been a good thing because throughout the playoffs, Derek Lively, um, Jones, who's it, Gafford, all those guys were at the rim a lot. And right now, it hasn't been that way. I did need to find other avenues.
well,
And credit to the Celtics for taking that away from them.
I would say Derek Jones Jr. He's been at the rim. He's been consistent so far in the first 2 games. Gafford and Darrell Lively, not so much. They've been pretty quiet for the most part. But I gotta
Mhm.
give props to Derek Jones Jr. He surprised me. When I first watched this guy, he was at Miami Heat. I'll be honest, I low-key thought he was trash. I mean, he didn't get minutes, but
He probably was at that point.
but it shows you what a new team, a new system can do for a player in the NBA. Just can revamp your career and to put you in a different perspective to the fans. So the man's hooping. So he reminds
I
me
don't
of
know about that much
Aaron
because
Gordon. Well, he's more consistent. He's a pivotal Mavericks right now. So he's doing on both ends of the court, offense and defense. So I
Mhm.
have to give him that.
he
He's
shoot a
like
three
Aaron Gordon
yesterday.
to me. When Aaron Gordon
Close
came
boy.
through the Nuggets. eh, Pardon me.
He shoot a three yesterday. Like, give me some chills.
I didn't catch that.
It just
Mhm.
went. He shoot a three yesterday. Give me some chills. It just went
What?
straight past it, but and
What?
just hit the ground pops.
Look, I saw I saw a lot of air balls. I saw a lot of air balls. Actually, talking about threes, right? The Celtics yesterday,
Everyone's so wrong for that,
they
man.
almost made history for the season. They did not hit a they almost did not hit a three for the entire first quarter until Al Horford hit the three within the closing seconds of the first quarter. That was the first, that would if
Mm,
he didn't make that three, that would be the
yeah,
first quarter for the season that Celtics did not make a 3 pointer. That's how much bricks they were laying. They went to
no,
masonry school, because they were struggling. Jason Tatum
mm,
struggling. I, and that I think to me that was a concerning sign for the Mavericks, because the Celtics were still winning, they
yeah.
still close up in
Convincingly
the
too.
game, and they were breaking so many threes. Tatum was really points. Those were frightening, scary times for the Dallas Mavericks. I was just hoping that Kyrie would have been able to step up and they would be able to withstand the Celtics have been on a different at the moment.
But I think though all of that is because yes, Celtics has some great defensive sequences going on against the Mavs right now, but at the same time, I feel like Mavs rushing the ball, Mavs making a lot of decisions that causing them tons of turnovers, tons of blocks, all that kind of stuff. They don't look settled. They look like everything must happen now, right away, type of thing. And I think that that's causing their offense to not have the structure that it needs, I think, to open up some looks for the other players, for the role players, or maybe to get that Lob City back online again. Because if you got, well, to be honest, look again, double team pretty good too. And Celtics got great defenders on their side, but even if that's the case, they were still in previous matchups getting the ball to other players so that they could get open looks. So I think they're rushing the ball. I don't think they're trusting each other as much anymore because of how I guess the first game went in terms of how great Porzingis was in the paint. So they kind of cut out that low play, and the spacing to me isn't great. So they definitely got a lot of work to do, in my opinion, if they want to make this a series.
You
I
know,
think a lot of what you're talking about is a product of the
say
Celtics too,
Yeah,
doing some good
credit
work
to them.
defensively, because I think their rotations have been so crisp, and that's why they haven't been getting the lobs at the basket as often as they would. And the Celtics
Hmm.
have big bodies that too, unlike in the Minnesota series. Minnesota is a big team, right? But the guys that they had
But
rotating
slow.
when the big rolling to the rim, they were not getting there in time enough, and sometimes they weren't big enough. You got Mike Conley, a man that's barely 6'1", F
Mhm.
Satal rotating on Derek Lively. He can't stop Derek Lively from doing anything. But you got Jason Tatum rotating over. You got Al Horford. You got a bunch of guys that could hold up on the perimeter. You got
Yeah.
Sam Hoser, even the guys coming off the bench, a lot of pretty big dudes that could still roll over and stop those the Derek Lively's and the Daniel Gafford of the world from getting those easy downs. So they're doing a
Yeah.
great job with their defensive rotations, and I think a lot of credit goes to them for breaking out that lob city and just making it tough for Luca to navigate in the paint as well.
Yeah.
agreed. And to add to that as well, the Celtics have made it extremely difficult for the Dallas Mavericks to get open looks on the perimeter into the threes. Even the ones that have been contested, Dallas have been struggling. The player Maxi Kleber, I can't recall seeing him in the first two rounds. I'm not sure if he just returned for
And
the
he was
finals,
injured.
but he
Yeah,
was injured.
he was injured.
He has been struggling. He has been probably the worst 3 pointer I've seen right now in the Mavericks in terms of form. He's a good 3 pointer probably in general, but right now in this
General.
series, he is struggling. He can't play a three.
Mhm.
At this point in time, he's just, I don't know if to bench him, if to let him fake and make the pass and dish off the pass, but he's missing a lot. And I think the open ones is what's the problem. Like, it's okay to miss a contested shot, but the open ones, and then he's airballing some of them. I just feel like the Mavs right now are struggling from the 3 point line. Only Luca's been getting it done kind of consistently. Uh, but Celtics have made it difficult for them. That's the truth.
And Celtics
Really,
have been making their contested trees. That's another thing too.
Yeah.
well, mm, kind of. They missed a lot too. This
No,
has not been a good series in terms of from the 3 point line. These teams have been
well, in
struggling.
the second
Okay.
game, yeah, it's been tougher in the second game, but in the first game, everything that get contest get right off. They were splashing in front Mavs face all the time. So um I think though Mavs will get closer. I think they'll figure out something. I think
They need
Celtics
to.
have shown them what they're about, what they are bringing into this series in these first two games. It seems like their recipe is to get as much runs to the basket as possible in Jalen Brown, Porzingis, those guys, and if not, just to choke to guys like Derek White. Also on the defensive end, um, Drew Holiday has been a brick. Like I said, he would be, and giving a lot of trouble to Mavs offense. Like he's the one initiating these tough sequences, and it's paying off. Definitely paying off for them. So in that light, what would you say or add to being the Celtics recipe for success so far in these first two games?
Well, I would say, yeah, I think primarily I would put it down to the defense. They play some great defense on Kyrie. They play some good defense on Luka too because they're forcing him into a lot of turnovers. Like you mentioned it a little bit earlier about
Yeah,
the Mavericks need to slow down and start turning over the ball. I just feel like that's one of the ways that the Celtics are beating them the most right now. Just playing, putting them on a lot of pressure and forcing them to make a lot of
yeah,
mistakes and capitalizing on those mistakes. Jalen Brown has been a big catalyst for a lot of those, in my opinion. We see him picking
yeah.
Luka's pocket, seeing getting on in transition and trying on those dunks. So they're turning defense into offense at a pretty efficient rate. And
Hmm.
those are one of the things the Mavericks aren't doing themselves any favor by making those mistakes either. So it's tough when you're the Mavericks. You have to rely on just those two guys. You don't have anybody to really create offense outside of Luka and Kyrie. And Kyrie don't really got it because you got to deal with rotations of Derek White, Drew Holiday. You got Jalen Brown on you sometimes. So like he
All
in a
three tough players.
torture
Yeah,
chamber, boy. So it's tough. It's tough.
but
And
he's
if you
still getting
think
to the
yeah,
basket. That's the
yeah, but
thing. Like he's still
yeah, I think you
slippery.
see a few times that he do get there, then he not making the shots. So
Mhm.
that's the tough part. So I would say the Celtics defense has been very impressive and been the standout team for me over these past two games, and contributed to their success um, mainly.
Main ingredient says
Yeah,
you, Hakim.
I'm gonna say two things. Defense. We know they've been a good defensive team all year round, but the Celtics have seen more locked in defensively in these first two games. Uh, I say that because it's still early stages. They can still lose the series. So let me just leave it as that. But they've been good so far defensively. The rotation has been good. And to me, the biggest difference has been Jalen Brown. He has been ultra aggressive. He, I'm seeing him being the leader of this team. Uh, vocally and on the court, he's just setting the tone. As I say, he's driving to the paint. He's not settling for threes. He's making the right plays. I'm not seeing him make as many turnovers as I've been accustomed to, or I should say, the untimely turnovers. He is just he is the driving force of the team right now, in my opinion. If
Showing a lot of
Tatum,
confidence.
he is, and as I said, he is directing his players, his teammates, what to do. He's being the vocal leader of the team, and just in case we touched on it, he's the better player. He's their best player right now on the team in terms of the Celtics. And whether that's true or not, who believes it? Whether he's trying to play mind games, psychological games with the Celtics. In this series so far, you can see it. Jalen Brunson is doing everything. He's getting, and let me not discredit Tatum. Saying Tatum has not been playing well. Oh, he's not been playing well. He's been playing okay. He's been playing good, but not well. he's been more on the defensive side of things. He's been, as I say, getting rebounds. He's been
Yeah, you say
getting
playing
some
like a role player.
as
That's
a
the
role
best way to
player. And
describe
uh,
it.
yeah, that's all I can say. It sounds bad to say that for Tatum, but he's been
You want to
passive
see
these
a
first two
star?
games. He's been passive these first two games, but Brown has been different. So for Celtics, their recipe so far: good defense, good all-round defense. But every player is committed to play good defense. They're not slacking off. They're rotating. They're helping out. They're double teaming at the right time against Luca and Kyrie. And you're seeing it. You're seeing they're doing it carefully, and even when they're double teaming, and then they try to get, and then there's someone preventing Luca and Curry from getting the pass off to the open man. And if that pass is made, they're rotating as quickly as ever. So it's making it very difficult for the Dallas Mavericks to really get any sort of rhythm. So defense and Jalen Brown, the two main reasons why the Celtics have won the first two games, and if this continues, you, they might win the series.
I think Mavs need a, a mid-range guy. Mavs
Hey,
need someone who could.
That's technically
Luka
Kyrie.
been killing from mid range, bro. Luka been killing from mid range. And well, from what
Yeah,
from
but
for
players
every,
I've seen,
for
that's where he
every
been getting most of his
all
points.
right,
Yeah,
another mid-range guy, like somebody that if Luca is in trouble could pull up. Yes,
that's
well,
Hakeem
that's
said
they,
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
That's
Yeah,
Kyrie.
yeah,
it's
Kyrie
but
killing from
Kyrie.
mid
Kyrie,
range,
yeah,
but he ain't hitting.
Kyrie getting locked down. Yeah, exactly. He not firing on all cylinders at the moment, and you need if all right if the perimeter on lock and you guys your main offensive player is getting double team, and then you got another guy who's not firing on all cylinders. You gotta find another way to score. Your Lob City gone. That's the only other way that you could get in the basket. So, in my opinion, I think they need to find something that they can rely on that's pretty steady in terms of getting points. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if they would just run their offense a little bit differently so that they can space out, but they need to find some way to get their offense going because it hasn't been running
Someone,
properly.
because
Well,
in that Thunder series,
someone else.
it was PJ Washington that late up the Thunder. Really was a difference maker as a role player for a couple of those
Yeah.
games. They haven't gotten a performance like that. Well, no, and then in the Minnesota series, it was Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford that took
Yep.
down
Yep.
mantle. But so far, they haven't
Yep.
had a role player step up to really, offset stuff. So it got to be somebody. I don't know if it's going to be PJ
Yep.
Washington again. I don't know if it's going to be Hakeem's All Star, Derrick Jones Jr.
Maybe. Oh, Derek Jones.
I don't know.
They
I
might,
don't
they
know
might,
if
they
they can
might,
get around them.
they might even put in. They should even trade Tim Hardaway
Tim
Jr. at this
Hardaway.
point in time.
Yeah, I was just gonna
He's
say they might get around that Team Hardaway Jr. 6 for 9 from 3 or something like that. That could offset something that the Celtics doing. So they need one of those role players to step up big time to really
Yeah.
well, they're going back home and they say role players play better at home. So we might see something different from some of the role players or
yeah,
something better from
it could-
some of the role players now.
there's been many series where as I said, the team has gone away to love away from home, so they can easily even up the series. This game three is going to be obviously a well. These next two games are crucial because you don't want to go down 3-1 going back to Celtics, but you can easily see the series going back to heading back to Celtics, heading back to Boston.
I mean,
So
getting swept is an option too.
uh, I do not see this team being swept. I'll be damned if this team gets swept. Oh my god, I can't see it. Anything is
You
possible.
sound like
Bradley Beal,
you know who said I'll be damned?
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. Called him next week come out here and then you say that
I'll
he
be
was
down, huh?
down. Yeah.
I I can't see it. I'll be. Luca's been going off. Luca will continue to go off. Kyrie will step up. I'll be There's no way you tell me 2 games, the next 2 games at home, Kyrie's gonna be dormant. I cannot see it. Someone's gonna step up,
All depends
and
on
if
Celtics defense. Trust
you know,
me.
when Kyrie cooking, no one can stop Kyrie. Kyrie's that guy. But we'll see how Jason
Yeah.
Kidd adapts to the Celtics.
Okay.
We'll see what kind of coach he is. The NBA fan is all about making changes. Uh,
Every
to turn
Superman
the
got
tide,
kryptonite here.
turn the tide into a favor. Oh, it's I don't know it's kryptonite.
Well,
He must
Drew Holiday said all you could do against Kyrie is pray. So clearly, Drew Holiday has been praying. He got the whole
have been praying.
congregation, the whole family, the whole Celtics organization praying. So it
That prayer
working. The
can only
power
work for
of
so
prayer.
it can only work for so long. But I Celtics are gonna get cooked in these games, these next 2 games. And let me just reiterate, game 2 was closer than we think. No, for real. That play, that if we watch the match or watch that single play with Luca, that turnover, that was it. That if that play was successful and that foul was called or it was 2 points, the game could have easily been won by the Mavs. That was the turning
Not
point right there.
easily. Come on.
I just gonna
All
say
right,
I
Come
know
on.
what
Not
easily.
all right,
easily.
or not easily, but it could have been won. It was a winnable game. I think that was the difference. So we would have had a totally different conversation right now. And we'd be saying, can the Mavs go up 3-1, heading back to the Garden? That's what we would have been discussing right now. But so
Ah,
we'll see.
I have a question though. Where has the Mavs defense been?
They didn't catch the flight.
that's a good question.
They stayed in Dallas.
I feel like a lot of it is
We
that.
haven't really touched on that.
Yeah, a lot of it is that one, you got Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, two bigs that could shoot the three. The Mavs in the last series would have been doing a lot of clogging up the paint and stuff like that, but you can't do that against the Celtics because the Celtics are one of the best 3 point shooting teams in the league all season long. So especially when you got
But they've
Kristaps
not been
Porzingis, so
been
they're playing for
anything.
you. But there's only one game that you could see that they have a good 3 point shooting percentage. The first game they saw like 38% from three, so which is really good. And then you come on, all right, they shoot good from three this game. I'm gonna still get beat. So they can say, all right, we can come away from the tree now against that specific team. They can't just give it up like that. And the Celtics have been hitting some crazy shots to be honest from three. So they will go pray, to that the Celtics have a bad game. But even then, we see they ain't had a great shooting night last night and they still win the game. So they still were able to find a different way to generate offense. So I think it goes beyond just the trees that the Celtics are hitting, but it's about the spacing and the fact that
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis provides spacing now for Jason Tatum to go and get to the ring, for Jalen Brown to
Brown.
attack the ring, for all the other players on the teams to attack the rim. So I think that's a big thing. I don't know how they could stop it because it's taking two of their best, I would say two of their best defensive players, which is Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively off the floor. They didn't have to worry about that last series because they didn't have to worry about it
Yeah.
against the Thunder because they could have loaded on SGA and they didn't have to worry about anything really and truly. So you can't do it now because you got Drew Holiday, you got what's called Derek White, you got Jason Tatum, and you got Jalen Brown, all the cool guys who could create off the dribble and get to the paint and score. So they're just in a conundrum. It's just truthfully, we talk about playoff system about matchups. To me, this is not a great matchup for the Mavericks based on their personnel. Truthfully,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, PJ could do a bit more, in my opinion, on the
on
defensive
offense,
end,
yeah,
but
on offense
and
too.
offense, yeah, for sure. But like I said, somebody got to step up and provide another avenue for the Mavs. Because if everything funneling through two players, then it's easy. It's easy to defend two players with five guys. So
Mhm.
somebody definitely got to step up for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Agree.
So so based on the series, who who do you think? Well, this might be a rhetorical question, but who deserves the Finals MVP right now in terms of how they've played so far?
I would have to.
provided that both teams have the chance to win the series, not just one team.
Okay. Mm.
Make it interesting that way.
Well, I mean, for the Mavericks, that's very easy. It's Luca. Luca's the only boy that really giving you something right now. And if they go on to win the series, he's still going to have to be giving you that something that he's giving you right now. I don't see how they'll win
Mhm.
without him doing that. So
He got to do that for 7 games. Ain't no way he
exactly,
could slow
Or
up.
six, or six,
it
and we win the
probably will
six,
be Luca.
He said what?
I know what
or
you're talking about.
six. You can win the six.
Four
Possible.
straight games?
Possible. It's
Four
possible.
straight games?
Don't,
What?
let's
Like,
not forget. Let's
it's
not forget the
Hype
Celtics
series.
were 2-1 up against the Warriors and lost that series in six. So anything is possible.
Might as well get their one first.
Just not.
but I would say Luka Doncic for the Mavericks so far, of course. And then for the Celtics, that is a tough one. That's really, really tough because
That's
we
not
sleeping
tough.
on Drew Holiday.
That's
We
Jalen
sleeping on
Brown
Drew
all
Holiday.
day.
Bro, you sleeping on Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday been playing out of his money in this
He
first two
has been.
games. Come on.
He has been.
Come on.
But Jalen Brown has been a more aggressive player. His points per game is higher. I think his rebounds per game is slightly higher, or if not higher than Drew. I think his assists might be lower than Drew, but Brown has been dynamic. I have to give it to
I can
Brown.
say the same for Drew Holiday as well. Drew Holiday has been pretty dynamic. I'm pretty sure he's averaging like 19
Yeah, but
points
Brown's
and
averaging
above
21. I think
5 rebounds
over
and above
21.
5 assists. I mean, the
What about
stats.
steals? What about
Yeah,
blocks?
like, well, steals,
They've
Jalen
both
Brown, I
been good
think, averaging
defensively.
like three. Yeah, but
Stops?
that's what he's saying. Like, they have been super impactful on both ends throughout these first two games. I don't think it's
Mhm.
as clear cut as you might make it seem. I agree. I believe that Jalen Brown has been one of the leaders of the team, one of the driving forces for their success in these first two games. But I could say equally the same thing about Drew Holiday because he's been pretty impressive. And he's been very efficient in terms of his shooting. He's been very efficient in terms of his defense and very efficient in terms of his passing. So it's tough for me not to look at Drew Holiday as a candidate and just say automatically Jalen Brown. I like Jalen
Right.
Brown. I feel like he has the in terms of mentality. When we take out the stats and stuff in terms of the mentality on the floor, I think he has been the most impressive in terms of his aggressiveness, in terms of his leadership, and in terms of his will to win. Um, but I could see the same thing for Drew Holiday too. So to me, it's a bit of a toss up for this one, either between Jalen Brown and Drew Holiday.
When is a toss up, you gotta go to the stats.
What?
Stats is the only thing that could separate the two. But I agree. I think both guys showing that desire to want to win, and both of them showing that on both ends of the floor. Defensively, Drew initiating the lockdown. Um Jalen Brown coming in with steals and everything, and then finishing on the other end of the court when there's turnovers and making statements. Like, people don't understand sometimes the mental games that certain players could have on players or teams. Like, when you get a steal and the ball trickling down the court and nobody coming to you and you put down a super huge dunk, that's a statement. That's like, yeah, we here, do something about it. And sometimes that could really sink your mental in a game, and cause you to make mistakes, cause you to not focus. Like, them kind of things, if you're a competitor, really hurt. So little things like that too could count for the MVP discussion. Like, all those little nuances that you find in a player's game that they do to even help to offset the opposition outside of the stats realm, you know, mental games. Who you going with, Hakeem?
For
Take
MVP,
it
I
easy.
mean,
It's,
yeah,
it's
definitely,
for your,
definitely,
your boy.
yeah, definitely Jalen Brown and Luca on the Mavs. I think those have been two. Luca's been a clear cut, as everyone said. He's been the only player really doing something. I think he got a triple double in his second game, if
Yeah,
I'm not
32
mistaken.
point. Yeah, 32
Yeah,
point triple double.
yeah, which is crazy. And then obviously on for me on the Celtics side, I already stated Brown's has been doing everything to me. He has been the driving force of this team, or at least in these first two games. Tatum has been passive. I just see Brown. You can see Brown has grown or has developed his game since the last time he's been to the finals, and I just see
For sure.
efficient determined to get this win. I mean, I kind of feel bad for them though, to be honest. Like when they hold this L, is gonna be is like I kind of feel bad for them, but it happens.
Anything for a prediction, boy. Anything for a prediction. That's what's coming up.
Prediction must hold up. Uh, I was actually thinking, jeez, now that Hakim choose Mavericks might actually lose. I feel,
uh,
I feel it was set up.
funny.
I feel it was set
And
up.
no, he coming
I
up with his
got
thought here soon.
oh fat. I got drip. Drip a fat.
I feel like it was set up. What I think we kind of touch on this a little bit, but what can Kyrie do more? Is it consistency? Is it game flow? Is it defense, passing, assists? What can he do more, or what can he not do, or should I say, do less in order to get this Mavs team over the hump?
Well, I think that's a pretty
Make
tough question
make it.
because you could go ahead, Haki.
No sense. Make sure connection was picky just now. So you talking Kyrie to help get Mavs over the hump. That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like
Okay.
what more can he do, or what can he not do? I guess I can't remember how we phrase it, but what he has to do to get the Mavs over the hump, whether it be offense, whether it be defense, whether it be assists. What does he have to improve on, and maybe do less of?
I think Kyrie just has to and they play his game, play his style. Uh, I found at the end of the day, he's gonna have to be a bit more aggressive. He's going to have to come up more aggressive. I want to say it's a bit psychological as well as a bit mental. So he's not been known to play well against the Celtics since he's left the Celtics. I can't remember the stat, but it's definitely been not in his favor. So the
One
Celtics
11.
kind of have his numbers. So he has to, is 11, 111, 11 to 1? Sorry, 111. Okay. So he has to get that out
Zero.
of his mind and just focus.
Zero.
It's been zero. So,
Yeah.
whoa, not even a game. So,
Zero on his number. That's crazy.
mind and he has
Well,
to get,
after
he has to
last
get
night,
out
maybe
his he has
12
to
now.
get out his mind and just yeah, he just has to get out his mind and just remember who he is, remember his skill set, remember what he can do. That no one can guard him, no one can stop him when he's in the zone. Uh, don't rush the shot. Try to you know beat the players off the dribble. If you can't get to the rim, make the pass. Uh, get to the free throw line if possible. I realize the Mavs have not throw line as much, and they've been missing some of their free throws. But just try to get the
Mhm.
free throw line some more. It's okay to let the game come to him because he's all year long we've seen he lets Luka cook when he's cooking or lets players cooking, and when it's his time to shine, he has no fear of stepping up. But I think this time around he's gonna have to be a little more aggressive because Celtics they're expecting him to turn up in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics are not even showing signs of fatigue in the fourth quarter. They're not showing any laps to say, okay, let Kyrie. They're staying to the game plan. Still playing defense as hard in fourth quarter as they were in the first quarter. So Kyrie really just has to stay focused, be more aggressive, try to find open look, just stay mentally locked in. Don't let Celtics get to him. Don't let the fans get to him. They've been doing their chants. They've been trying to get in his head. Just play your game. And once he's aggressive, I think they'd be good. Kyrie just had a subpar game. It wasn't a bad game, so I won't say subpar. his level of play, his standard. So as a recap, just be a little more aggressive. If you're gonna be patient, and if you're gonna be patient, just it's okay to do that. Just know when and where. Find the open look. You want to mentally block out the fans or block out Celtics, and just play yourself. Play happy. Play the how you normally play. Play free willed. Don't let the pressure come to you. Which I'm not sure if it's getting to him right now, but just like free spirited, and then I think he'd be good.
That's an interesting
Um,
take.
for me, Kyrie just needs to make some shots. Literally that. Like I see the man get some nice looks and stuff. He just ain't made. He looks like he's already made. It could be the Boston Crow getting to him, as Hakeem alluded to. But it just could be that he missing. I don't think that he's been passive like too much. To be honest, I think he's been trying to be aggressive, but the defense from his Celtics has been really good as well. Uh,
Yeah.
so he just needs to find a way, maybe play off Luca a little bit more, or Luca maybe needs to help him to play off, um, or set the table for Kyrie a little bit more. And maybe they could get into a bit more of a two-man game to some extent. I don't know if they've really gone to that much effort at all so far. But maybe that's something that they could look into. But Kyrie just needs to make some shots, man. And I see he began some good looks. He just ain't knocking them down. Truthfully speaking, even though the Celtics have been playing good defense, he's still been getting some good looks here and there, and he just ain't scoring them. So make some more shots, Kyrie.
That's fair.
That
Yeah, you were saying something, Hakeem?
I was where everyone said simple as that. Just make some more shots.
Simple.
Yeah, bit more shots. Do the Mavs get sweet,
Hell no.
gentlemen?
Well, we know. Let me
Hello.
answer because we know how I can't answer already. Yo, here talking about all stars to saying when the Miles win, yada yada yada. But looking at it
He was
realistically,
more saying when the Celtics lose. That's
well,
in six and all that.
but looking at
You
it
got Mavs going
realistically,
four straight. Yeah.
uh, I do see. I don't see how the Miles get swept. Luka have been playing exceptional. They just need a good game from Kyrie, and I don't think that Kyrie is too good not to have at least one good game throughout this whole series.
First four.
And I think that'll be the tipping skills.
It gotta be out of the first four. Because
Well,
if
yeah,
you can
well,
couple
yeah. In these
all
And
the
we,
next
and
two
we have to
games,
exceptions,
hope,
then
and you have to
game
hope
five,
as well
six, and
that
seven could be a good game, but he gotta get there first.
and we also have to hope that
like
Luca
over these
doesn't
next two
go
games,
quiet when Kerry goes
Yeah.
that
off.
is true too. That is true too. I don't see it happening, but we know Luca been laboring on that leg for the pretty much the whole playoffs. So I don't know if that's something that might eventually catch up to him. There's a possibility for that. So there need to be some sense of urgency from Curry to have a good game next game, or at
Yeah.
most game four,
Yeah,
so they
they
don't
need
get.
it. No, game three. They can't go down through love. They cannot go down through love. They need need that game
Shouldn't.
three.
They
They
If
shouldn't.
they
definitely
go down,
need game three.
They
if they
can.
go down through love, if they if they go down through love, whew,
You ain't coming
either we
back
watch,
for your stream, Hakeem.
either we watching history or that's a wrap.
Oh,
That's
you
the
mean
truth.
in terms of they're coming back
They
from
come back,
Trino?
yeah. Either we
The
watching it,
first team to come
yeah,
back from Trino?
yep. And the NBA finals, either we watching history or it's a wrap.
Honestly, I after the win that Timberwolves had after the three love dome, I thought that that's what we were up against.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
thought they
through
would have
love
Like
put
done.
up that effort.
I yeah, I thought that
Mhm,
they could have pulled it off the way how they played in our game, but
mhm.
we see how that turned out. They got the one, they were satisfied, and it was they had enough
Wait, boy.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they just want a gentleman
So
sweet, not a full sweet.
yeah. Then they want him mop, they want him broom. So give me a broom. Still some dust left, but any other comments relating to to those two games and the series ahead?
Um, I just
Any standout
like
performances, maybe off the bench that you guys
I
saw?
think Peter Pritchard has done a good job for the Celtics. The few minutes that Jaden Hardy did play for the Mavs, maybe they it was okay. Maybe they could trade with him a little bit more because he could generate a little bit more offense for them. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
as an initiator, but
I didn't see him.
it's
Did he
hard
play
to
in
think
game
about
two?
playing.
I can't
I
remember
don't think
seeing
he
it.
played in game two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw him come on the end in game one, but I don't remember seeing it.
right.
He looked pretty solid too. He looked confident in his shot
Mm-hmm.
and his ability to
So
score.
maybe they need to explore that a bit, but it's the final, so there ain't much exploring you want to be doing that too. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not as well. Um, so that is the only two things I could think about. Celtics just need to keep the good work. They got hope that nothing wrong with Chris Stotts because he has been a catalyst for their spacing and why the Mavs haven't been able to, lock in on the defense that they've had over the first two series. So
So you
there's
think
few
it
reasons.
would have been different if Porzingis wasn't in the lineup?
Yeah, I think it would be different if Porzingis thing wasn't in the game one. I had that game that he had. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't think they've yet adjusted to that. They might make the adjustments for this game coming. Um,
Mhm.
and we see where it goes from there. They might be able to do something better defensively. But I'm not too sure what it may be. I just feel like, again, matchup ways, they, you got Drew Holiday going right now, which is not a recipe for success, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, Daryl hasn't been exceptional, but he hasn't been bad either. So
But it
those
didn't
are
have to
ways.
be. That's the thing too.
Exactly. That's the thing. Jason Tatum hasn't been great either. So there's a possibility for a crazy Jason Tatum game at any point. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Mavs quite tough. I think ultimately he just needs some better performances from Kyrie. Because at the end of the day, it's Kyrie and Luka that pretty much got winning series. It's going to be a lot to ask from the role players to do something crazy like what PJ Washington did in the Thunder series. But I don't know. It's tough. That's it for me on the series.
Yeah, no
Gotcha.
further comments from me. Um, yeah, if they did everything, Celtics need to know what Celtics have their game plan. The Mavs have their game plan. Whoever executes it better will end up getting the win for this series.
I want to try a little saying here, Rayvon. I just want to try a little saying. Um, we can play a, a little game here with F1 to make it super fast.
All right.
I can call a name or an event and say the first thing that come to mind. Basically, the first word that come to mind. If you want hopping on this too, Hakim, you can. If you watch anything, but
Nice.
um,
Let
it
me call
start
them
off.
outlandish names.
Let me start off. George Russell.
Last.
Disappointed.
um,
Well, let me say a
Sergio Perez.
bittersweet. Bittersweet.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I like that.
bittersweet. Bittersweet.
Bittersweet. Yeah.
Sergio Perez
Or sweet.
should not be on. I ain't got a word. I got a phrase for Sergio Perez.
Okay.
Should be looking for a job next year. That's what we would say about Sergio Perez.
I can work. I can work with that. Um, Logan Sargent.
Yeah, he going to. I
I
don't
would have
know.
said. I would have said Latifi 2.0.
I don't know. I don't know
Because
much about Latifi because I don't think I was watching that early, but I do remember the name.
hey, this is something that you need to know about Latifi. 2021 final race, Mercedes in the
Right,
lead,
right.
cutting
I
rival
know
tail.
the name.
Latifi, Williams crash, Max win. Yesterday, Grand Prix, George Russell in the lead. Well, Lando. Um, Logan Sargent crash. Max get the pit stop. Max win. So Max should, if he goes to any team in the future, he should go to Williams. That would be his kind of thank you. His thank you for Williams. Um, Let me see if I can find two more.
No, let me give you
Oh,
one.
Haas.
Let me give.
Oh, okay.
We'll just
Go
get to
ahead.
you. Let me give you one. Ferrari. It's not a name, but Ferrari.
Garbage. Total garbage. Unexpected garbage. uh, I was not expecting Ferrari to do so poorly, but yeah, garbage.
um, and for Haas, I would say a moment of shame. That slowly dwindled.
Exhilarating moments. Yeah,
Yeah, that slowly dwindled.
slowly fade away like a snail. Anyways, people, that's been it for this stream. Appreciate you guys coming out to listen, to hang out with us, to you know listen on our thoughts about basketball and how we think the series is going. Hakim thinks it's going to a game six. Mavs is going to win four straight back to back. So tune into that. Rayvon thinks this is Celtics series to lose. This is the time for Celtics to get the dub, to take home the championship. With possibly Jalen Brown as the MVP. Hans thinks, well, who knows? We'll see. I really want to see where it goes. I have no thoughts. I think it could go both ways, to be honest with you. But definitely this is Celtics to lose because they're 2-0 up. But we know they're going to have a stinker. And if their stinker is not on Wednesday and they lose, then it might be a wrap. But anyways, that's been it for the House Show Bros. Thank you for joining us again. Peace out. We'll see you next week.